Hello, Physics 1 lab students. Welcome to Physics. My name is Krister, and today I am helped by my wonderful fellow LAs, Alex and Ben. If you have not already, please come pick up your lab materials from Dr. Indergaard or us in Rogers Hall. You will need them. Once you have received your envelope and transported it carefully to your domicile, you will find enclosed the following materials: one ruler, one series of messes with corresponding enclosed mass holder, a string for tying knots, and a spring. For the purposes of Lab 1, please disregard the spring. You do not need it. However, don't lose it because you will need it later. Okay, so in Lab 1, we will be making and testing pendulums. I hope, of course, that everyone here already knows what those are. In case you don't, they look a little bit like this. You will tie it to an anchor point and then tie your mass holder to the end of your string. After which, you will of course measure the length of your pendulum arm because it is critically important to this lab. You will measure from the base of where you tied it to the end of your mass holder. This is because some of your string will be used in tying the knot, and your length of your pendulum arm will not be the length of your string. During this lab, it will have three separate components, each of which consist of changing a single variable: the length of your pendulum arm, the angle of amplitude, and your mass of your pendulum bob. During each of their respective sections, keep the other two constant so that your numbers are not wrong. All right, so we need to measure our angle of amplitude. Now, that may be confusing for some of you that don't have protractors at home, but us LAs have come up with something that'll help you out a little bit. All right, so as you can see, when a pendulum is pulled to position, it forms a right triangle with its resting point. You will use the distance from the resting point to its current location as, let's call it X, and your length of your pendulum arm is, of course, L. Now, your angle of amplitude is equal to, or arc sine, of X over L. Very easy if you don't have a protractor. It's especially easy if you do. All right, well, I believe that's all for that section. So let's move on to Excel, which is a critical component of this class. If you are not already friends with Excel, you will be by the time you are out of this class. Welcome to Excel. I'm going to show you how to take an average, and there's a lot of other things that can come off the same format. So, what we shall do is do the equal sign, average, open parentheses, select your data, close parentheses, and enter. Congratulations, you have now taken an average. That being said, we will now move on to graphing. What you will do, select all of your data that you would wish to graph, go Insert, Charts, Scatter Plot, this one. Only ever choose this one, don't pick the lines. You make your own lines in this class. All right, after your chart has been made, you will come up with a snazzy title. It's a pretty good title. All right, so next you click the plus sign at the top right, and you click Axis Titles and Trend Line. Afterwards, you will click this tiny arrow next to Trend Line, click More Options, and go to the end. After which, you will go down and click Display Equation on Chart. Do not touch any of these. They will make your graphs wrong in our eyes unless we tell you to, and then you will lose points. None of us want you to lose points. All right, so once you have all of that done, of course, you will need to fill in your axis titles with appropriate things they represent and the units that are needed. Always remember your units in this class. You will lose points if you don't include them, and it makes us all so very sad when you don't include your units. So please do so. So a part of this lab, and something that you will do many times throughout this class, is pulling variables out of your line of best fit, which is this guy right here, right? So if you haven't noticed already, it's written in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, right? Using the equation for the period of a pendulum, you can see that t equals 2 pi root L over root g, right? So in this case, your y and your period of your pendulum are interchangeable, and x and the square root of L are interchangeable because, of course, they are your x and y variables respectively. Afterwards, your slope is equal to 2 pi over root g. If you have trouble finding root g, well then I have some very sorry news for you. If you're concerned about b, don't be. We ignore it right now, and we probably will for a long time, because b comes out of your experimental error, at least for now. There will be other formulas later where it will be relevant, but for now, ignore it, right? Your numbers are probably wrong. A lot of numbers are wrong because, of course, no experiment is absolutely perfect. Your timing could be wrong, your measurements could be wrong. You don't know. That being said, it's fine. It's all fine. You just have to have your data set up and formatted properly, and it needs to just look good to be submitted. I do believe that's everything that needs to be covered for this lab. So welcome to Physics 1, and I hope all of you have as much fun as all of us do. Thank you.